Hi, and welcome to Lunch with Lisa. And today I'm going to show you how I make celery juice without a juicer. It's Lunch with Lisa. Celery juice is amazing. If you haven't had the celery juice bug yet, you can check out Medical Medium's book all about celery juice. He made an entire book about it. It's not that thick, but it is full of great information about celery juice. Go check it out. Link is down below. You can find it in my Amazon store. Now let's say you've been wanting to try celery juice, but you don't have a juicer. Well, there's a really simple fix to that if you have a blender, or you could even use a food processor if you don't have a blender. So what you're going to need for this recipe is celery, of course. You're gonna need a cutting board and a knife. And what better cutting board than this new tidy board system I got. It comes with these tubs that you insert into a little cutout right inside the board. You can hang the board right over your sink and wash your veggies out. And it comes with these little extra bins that I'll show you how they work here in a minute. And it has one large bin that doesn't have any holes, and it has a lid. So when you're prepping veggies, how cool is that? It can go right into here. And you can store them for later in your fridge with a lid. And it's all dishwasher safe, microwave safe. This is so fun. So with this little bin, I'm just gonna stick it right inside the big bin. Make it can move. That's cool. So you're gonna need a cutting board. You're also going to need a nut milk bag. If you don't have a nut milk bag, you could use cheesecloth, or you could use a really fine mesh strainer. But I really recommend a nut milk bag because you can get in there and squeeze it out and nothing's gonna come out because it's so fine. You can find these in my Amazon store also down below. And of course, you're gonna need a blender or a food processor. You're gonna need a vessel to put the celery juice in, either a large bowl, a large measuring cup, or a large pitcher. This is the large pitcher I like to use because it's super big, it holds everything really nicely, but you won't be able to see it. So I'm not gonna use this today for you. I'm gonna use this big measuring cup I have. All right, so the first step is to chop up your celery. And then with these big pieces I wanna discard, I'm gonna sit that in the bin that doesn't have holes so I can just toss it later or throw it into my garden scraps. And then when I chop up the stuff I do want, I can just slide it right into the one with holes. Boom. So easy. Celery juice gets really bitter with the leaves. So I've figured that out the hard way. So I like to take off the leaves and keep the stems. So as I get to the chopping the leaf part, the young, really soft leaves are fine. It's the tough green leaves that get really bitter and make the celery juice taste awful. So it makes a huge difference to get rid of the leaves. You can toss them in your garden, toss them outside, put them in your compost, or just throw them away. That is not the part we want. They don't have any juice in them anyways. Got rid of all the bitter leaves. Boom. And then to make 32 ounces of celery juice, I'm gonna need quite a bit of celery. Usually it takes me about 1.5 stalks. But if you're just starting celery juice, just use just use one bunch of celery. That'll be plenty, and work your way up to 32 ounces because it can have a really big cleansing effect. So young leaves like this, perfectly fine. Now, if you love the tidy board system as much as I'm loving it right now, check out my link below. It is an affiliate link, and you can buy your own tidy board system, and I'll just make a small commission if you use my link. So thank you very much for doing that. Now, since I don't have this over my sink, I can easily lift it out and just carry it to my sink. Now that I have all my celery washed, I'm gonna pile it into my blender. You don't need to add anything else to this. This is just celery. You don't want to water your celery down with water. And if your celery is looking a little limp, let it sit in some water overnight. It'll plump right up. Okay, now celery juice is best when you consume it right after you make it, but you can make it up to 24 hours in advance, and then after that, it's not as nutritious as it could be. It starts losing its nutrient punch pretty fast, so I would juice it just right before ahead of time. I do this every morning. This is my morning ritual where I juice my celery. And it takes no time. It's not that big a deal. Okay, and then now I have this little tub where I can just go dump this out into my garden. And now I'm just gonna put my lid on. And then I have a special button that says whole food. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this thing on. And then I'm gonna push this, and you might have to give it a little push to help it along. The top is gonna do that for me. So I'm just going to turn it on now, and we'll watch it turn into a celery slushy. All right, now that it's a celery slushy, I'm just gonna scrape out all the celery into my nut milk bag. I like to scrape it down off the sides so I don't miss any little bit of celery juice. So now I have my container, and I'm gonna put my nut milk bag right inside. Kind of fold over the top. And then all I have to do is just squeeze out all that juice. This just takes just a few minutes. It's kind of therapeutic. I sit here and I maybe listen to like a YouTube video or do my morning meditation. So it's just with patience. You just squeeze this out. I mean, hey, it's this or spending a bunch of money on a juicer, and they're terrible to clean. This is so easy to clean too. It's amazing how much juice is in celery. I guess it's mostly water anyways. Squeezing, I'm almost at the end. And I like to squeeze until all this stuff is dry. I can't squeeze no more. So I like these nut milk bags because you can squeeze them pretty hard and they won't break apart. So you end up with all this dry pulp. And I've been throwing this in my garden too. And this is all the fiber that you're just gonna poop out anyways. And so it clears the way for the celery juice to take action and do all the lovely things that it's going to do, like cleanse your system. Fiber actually gets in the way of the juice doing its thing, and I just drop some in there. So how cool is that? I just have a little bit more. Usually not this messy because I have that bigger pitcher. Now when you're pouring your celery juice to drink, you definitely want to use a strainer to catch any bits that may have come out, or you may have dropped back in there like I did. And there we have our lovely celery juice that tastes so good and is so good for you. So now, nothing is stopping you from making celery juice at home without a juicer. It's so easy, right? Try some celery juice. Comment if you drink celery juice in the morning. I wanna know. I wanna know how many of you celery juice drinkers there are out there. Do you get weird looks when you go to the store and buy like 12 bunches of celery? Where do you put it? I need another fridge. If you like what you see and you want to help support me, there's 3 ways you can do it. You can become a patron, like all these lovely people, and watch my show a week ahead of time. Or you could buy me a coffee at coffee.com/lunchwithlisa. Or you could use any of the Amazon links down below to go shopping on Amazon in the next 24 hours and I'll receive a small commission. And it's always free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. It's Lunch with Lisa. Save this for tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be good by then. Love you. Thanks for watching.